of designing and implementing reforms through its policy advice, capacity development, and lending. And the designated 48 NNPC petrol stations are working round the clock to ensure uninterrupted access of petrol by motorists in Abuja and its environs. Lydia Sampson reports that only a few motorists are taking advantage of the unique opportunity. The report.
A visit to some of the stations indicates that the process is seamless with few motorists. It is 12 a.m. Late as it is, for motorists here, taking advantage of the 24 hours service, they agree, is a unique way of accessing petrol without having to wait.
But I thank God this evening as I just enter.
And I'm amazed that NNPC is actually selling fuel by this time. And we got here and there's no queue, nobody, and we just got in man and it's nice. It's really nice. I'm really impressed by this. You can see everywhere is empty now. There is no more queue again. People are getting the products and it's available. So they are getting the product as much as they want. Since we are operating 24 hours, you can come in anytime you like. If you don't want to come in the daytime, you can come in at night and pick your products.
The tour of petrol stations by journalists went on till 3 a.m. and most stations visited had good reports of motorists applauding the 24 hours window.
This is quite commendable and impressive.
Some couple of days or weeks ago, it has been very challenging, but it's easy now. And I think the situation is getting better. It tells me that the leadership of NMPC is working very hard.
Some of the petrol stations, though the stations were open and waiting to serve, but no vehicle showed up. They, however, say the 24-hour service is mandatory as part of collaboration with the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited to mitigate queues which are already giving way. The motorists applauded the NNPC Limited for the 24-hour service in the designated petrol stations, as well as massive distribution of products across the country.
Meanwhile, the House of Representatives has engaged key stakeholders on the rising cost of aviation fuel in the country in view of its implications to this sector.
1 year ago, it was selling at 190 naira per litre, and as of this afternoon, sir, it was going for 670 naira per litre. It has increased the cost of operations, of airline operations.
The costs of operations, fuel will take 30% of any airline all over the world. Here in Nigeria, the cost of aviation fuel is about 70% even before this increase. In Nigeria, these market forces, in the morning, what you buy is not what you buy at 12 noon.
It's friendly in the market, all right, Honorable Speaker, today. No one knows what the price will be tomorrow. What traders will typically do is to make sure that they have enough cash in their hands for them to be able to go back to the market to buy the next stock. This may be where it is coming from, but that's still not an excuse for escalation of prices. I'm sure they will work with the authority to make sure that if there is any such thing, we'll deal with it jointly as an industry.
We have sufficient deposit in the country that can take care. We should be concerned as to why we're having the increase. If your landing cost is about 430, why are we selling it at 740? Why are we selling it at that people? More investigation will be done as to the reality of what's on ground.
Aviation operators in Nigeria have continued to decry the persistent hike in the price of aviation fuel. Business Express today turns attention to price of aviation fuel and prices of flights in the country. Our guest is an aviation expert who is also Assistant Secretary General Aviation Roundtable Safety Initiative. He's no other person but Olumide Ohunayo. You are welcome to Business Express.
Thank you. Good afternoon.
Good to have you join us. Well, we woke up to a public notice a couple of weeks ago about an imminent price hike in air travel prices nationwide. Has it been affected? Did you see it coming? What is the exact situation now?
Yes, the price hike has been affected almost immediately after their meeting, and across board, really. I think only again Africa Airlines had something below the 50,000 naira threshold that's now the minimum on any sector within the Nigerian airspace. We saw it coming, and it was long overdue. I think the only problem people had with it was the methodology. Why would you have to do it jointly at the same time? And that was why the issue of coalition came in. Again, I also feel they should have made it very gradual, probably maybe the gradual process, maybe 10%, 10% increase every 3 or 4 days or every week. Forget this final figure, and in doing that, straight up like that, and the straight jack method, you know that the passengers automatically dropped. They were putting the flight, the those visiting friends, leisure travelers were stopped traveling, and what we have now, essential travels and businessmen that are on the road. So there's a passenger drop due to the fare, but it was expected because the airlines themselves have been groaning. Just heard from that report, the fuel itself, the ground handling cost increased, the airport service charge also increased. The petrol that is used for vehicle and other services that the airlines use also increased. So how the airlines cannot be in isolation, and most importantly, the naira continued to fail, continued to drop in value to all other foreign currencies. And remember that 90% of the expenses of these airlines are dollar denominated, so it was not unexpected.
Well, if I got you right, you said you actually saw this coming following all these increases from issue of forex to maintenance charge and to the cost of this fuel. Can you give us a picture of this jet fuel demand and supply chain and the possible reasons for the other increases? Why are they coming all at a time?
Remember that aviation fuel, like diesel and kerosene, are deregulated. They're not regulated like the PMS. So over time, the cartel handling the distribution have always determined the price. Listen to that. What happened there? NMC said it gets for about 430 naira, and you are selling close to about 6 to 700 when it goes up. If you go to the airports up north, here in Lagos, it's about 520, 530. I think that is too high. And we are in this stage because right now the Consumer Protection, the Federal Commission Consumer Protection has gotten up to ask the airlines not to collect increasing fares. I was expecting them to do the same with the oil marketers who comes up with the price and ask everybody to pay along. And the airlines have reacted that this is very painful. And we're here today because over the years, we have not been able to have airlines. The blame goes around. The airlines cannot escape this blame because anywhere in the world, you do not pay cash and carry and get good deals when you want to buy aviation fuel. Aviation fuel is a major cost component of operations. Minimum is about 30 to 35% for airlines around the world. And for Nigeria here, you're looking at about 50% of their cost. So such cost components are not, you don't pay on the pay as you go. Like I said, you pay for a recharge card. When you want to fly, you go and buy it for the amount you need and pay cash. No, there's the bulk buying, there's the hedging. Or you go into an alliance, you have about 10 or 12 airlines that will buy it in bulk at a rate that even when these shocks and life risk comes in, you're already immune, you're already secured. But that has not happened to our airlines. Everybody goes to the market as an individual. They're not even given credit facility. They have to pay cash. And I think that's not that. And that's why once there's a jolt, the airlines feel it. And I think they need to work on that. Also, there's a need to have a refinery in Nigeria that will refine aviation fuel. Happily, or kudos, the Akwa Ibom government has promised to deliver one in the next 2 years. And if that comes on streaming, maybe that will also help. Again, in some other countries, airlines come together and do this competition themselves. So if airlines can do that, I think that will also be good for the industry. But you see, the positive thing about it is that for the first time, the airline operators of Nigeria, which is the CEOs of the airlines, are coming together now, are working together now. They are facing the government. They are meeting with the government. They are letting the public know about their fares and flights, and they're also meeting with the House of Rep. And I think with this, we begin to see some things that are being positive. But let me say to you that if the price continues to increase, we'll probably have some issues in the industry. And what will happen? Aircraft will be packed, bigger aircraft will be packed, smaller ones will be
Okay,
on
Mr.
air.
Hunaya.
Flights will be rescheduled.
So, haven't given us the reasons that you think are actually valid for these increases. Should it have come following this methodology, talking about 100% increase? And what do you think government should do to support the necessary investment in this particular sector, as all important as it is? Yes, you've mentioned some incentives. What more can be done to cushion this effect? Because it's about the customer base, it's about the nature of the economy, it's about the times that we are in.
Like I said before, I said I'm not in support of the 100% hike in price. I was expecting to be a gradual process, maybe about 15 to 20%, just like international prices are increasing now, but you by they're moving at a rate of 5%, but on a weekly or monthly basis. So that's what I was expecting from the operators here, not that 100%. And that 100% got a shock and a huge backlash from the Nigerian travelers and the industry. The increase in price expected, just that it was the methodology that was a problem. Now, coming to government, I think what the government can do is to see how they can help with maybe with a special window of the foreign exchange, whereby airlines can access that rather than go for the black market rates. I think that should be. We are tired of giving them money under the guise of self-subsidy support. I think it's not time to rather than give money to airlines now. Money should be thrown into our infrastructure. We must improve our infrastructure. Airports that are closing at 6 p.m. can work for 24 hours. The same airports that do 24 hours for Abuja and close their privileges are closed by 6 p.m. and reduce the flying windows. We need to expand our infrastructure. We need to provide incentives that will make more private investors enjoy coming to the industry rather than government investing in it. And I think government should just stay by and be more of a regulator than a participant in the industry.
Well, talking about expanding infrastructure is something that will not come right away. Yes, we have plans for concession of 4 airports and a whole lot of other stuff. Demand for air travels is on the increase. Airlines are getting more Airbuses coming into this country. How can all of this be managed within this time? And can we have this challenge eased off anytime soon?
Well, the airlines will continue to make plans. They will continue to expand. Remember, we just came out of COVID. It was depressed all over. The airlines yet to recover fully. We are doing well on the domestic, but not on the international routes. So as the airlines are coming in, you also need to prepare yourself. How do you prepare yourself? You prepare your infrastructure. You prepare. You look at your regulations. You see how you can support the industry to survive these times. And if we don't have, as of today, we don't have a refinery for aviation fuel. ACOBAM has indicated interest, and I think the government should also help and see how that can be done and start refining the aviation fuel in Nigeria. Again, on the cartel importing distributing the aviation fuel, I think the government needs to look at what has happened at the House of Reps yesterday, whereby getting at the 430 naira and gets to the airport at the rate of 600 and something naira. So who caused that increase? Is it the fan taxes at the airport? Is it the mode of transportation? Again, with the mode of transportation in the past was you tunnel it from Mosimi to the airport to the borders at the airport. That tunnel got destroyed in the 90s and has not been repaired today. So we have to truck to most of to the airports, and the same trucking that we are doing all the way to the north. And that's what you see as the airport goes, as the destination goes further from Lagos, the price increases.
Okay, another news from the aviation sector is that of an alliance between Air Peace, Asman, Arik, and 3 others. Is this because of the difficulties being experienced from the aviation field, or is it about customer satisfaction?
Beautiful. I think good question, and I think you have also answered it. Customer satisfaction, customer comfort, and reducing the pains. We have been battling the issue of flight delays and cancellations in the industry, and without any punitive measures given to the airline. And what the airlines have done with this alliance is to ensure that passengers get safely and comfortably to their destination. Even if the ticket you have, the airline is not operating, they'll be able to put on one of their partners. And I think this was one of the bases why the airlines came together, having a benchmark so that when I put a passenger on your flight, I know you are at least pay me at this rate. And that's what has given birth to this alliance. It's not their first alliance in the industry, make no mistake about it. It's just the first to be named. Dana and Ibome has one in a place in the past. Air Peace and United Nigerian also signed one recently. Then you have Arik and Asman on the Lagos Yola route and Yola Abuja routes. They've had this alliance in the past among them, but it's not been really effective because passengers will be flaming. When the ticket the airline ticket that you have, which is not flying, they're stranded. And I think with this alliance, this will reduce the scope of the passengers, and then the airlines will sort themselves as it were.
Wow, that is good to hear. Thank you so very much, Mr. Olumide, for sharing your thoughts with us on the way to go to get better flying.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Moving on, oil prices stabilized on Friday and were tracks of their biggest weekly drop since November after seesawing on fears of escalating bans on Russian oil versus efforts to bring more supply to the market. Next is the commodities market. And now, the Nigerian Employers Consultative Association and the Industrial Training Fund, under its Technical Skills Development Project, have gone into partnership with 30 organizations to promote technical and vocational skills to meet identified needs of industries and also the investing public.
The project today boasts of having supported 59 participating organizations and technical colleges with machinery and technical equipment. It has also graduated so far 54,603 highly skilled technicians who are either employed in corporate organizations or have become entrepreneurs that are also employing others.
And the National Information Technology Development Agency, NIDA, is partnering the Japan International Cooperation Agency, JICA, to provide a platform where youth with innovative startups will be groomed in technology so as to translate their innovations to marketable products and services. The focus is on health, finance, and agriculture.
This initiative, Idea Hatch, named iHatch, is crafted and designed to identify promising startups with promising ideas and let them turn their ideas into products and services
that will inspire the Nigerian youth to brush up their business ideas and maximize opportunity for empowerment.
Selection is also mainly based on the ideas, like how scalable, how profitable, and how much impact, social impact, the idea has on the society.
Where we have Nigerians in diaspora actually get their character report. Rather than going to the embassy, pushing on applications for the reports, we're going to use hashing and then metadata management to gather up these documents and then validate.
Dollar hits 5-year peak on yen, euro 100 by growth risks. The House of Representatives has, in line with the policy of ease of doing business, commenced legislative consideration of a bill that seeks to enhance operations and performance of capital market. Lami Ali reports that the bill to that effect passed second reading during Thursday's plenary.
The security and investment is more encompassing, taking into consideration the different segments of the responsibility of the stock exchange that are now being carried out by different specialists.
And from there, it's a positive wrap for the equities market in Nigeria this week as the market appreciated by 0.16% today. The NGX advanced to 47,437.48 basis points and market capitalization inched up to 25.566 trillion naira. Investors traded 1.153 billion shares valued at 7.028 billion naira in 3,928 deals. The First City Monument, Zenith Bank and Access Bank were the top stocks in terms of volume, while price gainers were led by Niger Insurance. Next is the global market.
Hello and welcome to the Global Market Review. Stocks across the globe rose on Friday as investors clung to hopes the global economy would continue to grow despite the war in Ukraine. In Europe, markets nudged higher with global investors assessing soaring U.S. inflation and a hawkish surprise from the European Central Bank. The DAX added 1.26%, London's FTSE topped 0.9%, while France's CAC 40 appreciated by 0.71%. Stocks in Asia fell, tracking overnight losses on Wall Street. The Nikkei 225 in Japan fell 2.05% to 25,162.78. Hong Kong's Hang Seng Index also depreciated by 1.61%, while the Shanghai Composite rose 0.41%. U.S. index futures were fractionally higher in early trading. The Dow Jones Industrial Average gained 93 points, S&P 500 topped 0.37%, and Nasdaq 100 gained 0.43%. And in Africa, stocks rose marginally in Friday trade as most markets entered positive territory, with investors on the continent holding on to hope of a recovering economy despite the war in Ukraine. And that's Global Market Review. I am Neka Oko.
On that global note, we end this episode of the program. Don't forget you can access all previous episodes on YouTube. We also value your feedback. Do join us again next week. I am Benny Adams saying stay safe this weekend.
Welcome to Strictly Speaking once again. And thanks for joining our ongoing conversation on various aspects of the English language.
Social media has influenced the use of English language in terms of writing and speaking that art. But you must understand that communication itself is an art.
Yes, there's the art, which is the skill or the talent, or from the talent to the skill. How do you separate yourself from the gang?
This vaccine is safe and it has been certified safe and usable by NAFTA.
Lives are in your hands while you drive. Protect yourself and others on the road. Road markings shown the network service of the NTA. Join us.
Everything is architected and designed by the Almighty. So one who